How's it going, everyone? Today I am here with my WWE Fastlane 2016 pay-per-view. Of course, Fastlane wrapped up not too long ago, and I know a lot of people are really pissed off about this show. A lot of people showing their displeasure about this show, not really a fan of it, and people are angry about the results and just claiming how predictable the show was. And to be perfectly honest, regardless of how predictable the show was, regardless if you weren't a fan of the ending, which I wasn't, but you know what, it is what it is. It was a good, solid show. The wrestling on this show was really, really good, I thought, and I feel like that's really being overlooked because of the booking and how some of these matches went about, the finishes of some of the matches, and just the predictability of it is the main thing I think when it comes to why people dislike this show. But like I said, besides that, I think this was a good, solid wrestling show, and yeah, nothing really happened on this show, nothing eventful happened coming out of it, but how many shows have been in the past where it's been a good show, but even though nothing happened, it was a good show overall. But I feel like the good of the show is just being overshadowed by the predictability and the ending of the show. And let's be honest, it's not like anything on the show happened that we didn't see coming for months now. Especially the ending. I know a lot of people are pissed off about Roman Reigns facing Triple H WrestleMania, but let's be honest, that's pretty much been you could predict that back in November if that was the match going to happen, and I don't know why people are so pissed off. I know people are hoping that they would, surprise us and pull a swerve and, mix things up, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. But I don't know, like I said, I think people are putting on this show just because of how, I understand I left a bad taste in your mouth of the show, but I think people are really overshadowing how good the rest of the show was in terms of the wrestling-wise. So, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of just being overshadowed, unfortunately, but I can see why people are, angry about it. But I enjoyed the show. I thought it was good for what it was. Of course, the kickoff show started out for the pay-per-view, which featured the 2 out of 3 falls match for the United States Championship, Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio. Very good match here. Both guys put on one hell of a performance. Del Rio looked great, and Kalisto put on a great performance. Had that fighting back. He's such a little guy, and that story of just being told he never gives up and keeps fighting back, and till it was a good story. Just Kalisto fighting back and Del Rio just pulling his aggression out on him, to the point where Del Rio actually got himself intentionally disqualified by hitting him with the steel chair for Kalisto to get the first fall by DQ. Del Rio, knowing that, said, I don't care, it's one fall. Throws him in the ring, puts him up on the ropes, and it's a diving foot stomp on Kalisto for the 1, 2, 3. So Del Rio wins the second fall fairly quickly after the first fall because he knew what he was doing. So it's tied 1-1. And, they ended up putting a pretty good match on. I really enjoyed it. It was probably the best one they have. Even though you could argue their SmackDown match where Del Rio won the title back was their best one. I feel like this was a really good match still, and I really enjoyed it. And, it's debatable which one was better in my opinion. But a good ending, too. I enjoyed it. It didn't make Del Rio look bad with Kalisto hitting the Hurricanrana on Del Rio into the post, not the post, but into the turnbuckle, which led to a roll for the 1, 2, 3. So Kalisto retains the United States Championship, which was a great kickoff match. So I really enjoyed that. That was good. And from there, sorry, my back's killing me. From there, we're going to the main show. Kicks off with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch versus Naomi and Tamina. This was actually a good match. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Sasha Banks looked great. Naomi and Tamina, I thought, did a good job of making Becky and Sasha look really good in this match. Of course, you had that tension with Sasha and Becky at the beginning by their tagging themselves in without the other one really acknowledging it or paying attention, or without the how tag partners tag themselves willingly. But of course there are forced tags with the person in the ring that wouldn't come out yet. But that was good. Naomi definitely looked pretty good too with her kicks and just her athleticism. She looked good. Tamina actually looked decent because if you don't know this by now, you should know. I think Tamina's a horrible wrestler, and she didn't look too bad in this match. So it was a good performance by all 4 girls, I thought. I liked the ending with Sasha Banks doing I forgot, Tamina was doing something, and Sasha Banks was able to counter into the bank statement, and when Naomi tried to break it up, Becky Lynch actually got her into the disarmor, so double submission, but Tamina and Sasha were the legal girls. Tamina tapped out, so Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch get the win, which was a good opening match. I enjoyed it. From there, we had the Intercontinental Championship match, Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. At first, this match was really, really boring. Like, the first half of this match, it was just Chinlock Island, as Kevin Owens said during the match. Just nothing was happening. I was like, oh, here we go. This match is going to be boring, boring, boring. But actually, during the second half of the match, it really picked up. It actually became a really good match, I thought. Ziggler went 110 miles per hour, and this is probably the best showing he's had in quite some time. I don't remember the last time Ziggler looked so good in a match. And Kevin Owens was looking good as always as well. So they ended up producing a fairly good match. I thought it was really enjoyable. Ziggler actually almost got the win a few times this match, which is kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting him to get as many near falls as he was. But I enjoyed it. It was a good match. Ended up being a good match, and Kevin Owens got the win with a good variation of the pop-up powerbomb, where he had Ziggler and he pulled him towards him, getting the pop-up powerbomb instead of a pop-up powerbomb from out of nowhere or just throwing him against the ropes. So I thought it was a good match. It was, like I said, started off very slow, but it progressed into a really good match, and I really enjoyed it. And it was a solid Intercontinental title match. So good job by both men there. From there, we go to the 6-man tag team match: Ryback, Big Show, and Kane versus the Wyatt family. Just alright match. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Big Show, Kane, and Ryback, more so Ryback, looked pretty decent. And of course, Luke Harper was a workhorse of the Wyatt family, working, enjoying the match, and making it enjoyable, but putting the spots he's able to do. Ryback was just going full throttle with he did like 6 running knees in the corner, and then he did like 6 scoop slams or just slams in general. Don't know what the hell that was going on about, but it was a pretty decent match for the most part, and Ryback got the win for his team with the shell shock on Luke Harper, in which Luke Harper actually landed pretty nasty on his arm. Looked like he could have broken it, so hopefully it's nothing too severe with Luke Harper's arm from that shell shock. So it honestly looked more like a Samoan drop than a shell shock, to be honest. But yeah, Ryback, Kane, and Big Show get the victory, and I'm just laughing because the Wyatt family will never be a credible stable. I can rant for hours how uncredible the Wyatt family is, and just the burial of those 4 now, I guess, are just, it's so incredibly embarrassing. I'd hate to be part of that stable, to be honest. Just, they're a joke. And you can be a fan of them, but you can't not admit that they're not a joke, because they are. They're a joke, and it's not their fault. It's WWE's, of course, but it's pathetic. They're supposed to be taken as a threat and something to be scared of, yet they lose every match they're in. So I don't know what their mentality is there, but it is what it is. From there, we're going to the Divas Championship match: Charlotte versus Brie Bella. Brie Bella, wearing her Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30 kick badge, which I thought was a cool tribute. Match itself was decent. Brie Bella, I love the Bellas, but you can, when Brie's on her own, especially in a spot like this, you can tell how much better Nikki is compared to her, because Brie just looked pretty bad in this match. Like, what she was doing looked sloppy. Like, watching Brie wrestle is just awkward. Like, everything she does is awkward. She's slow. It's sloppy. It just doesn't come off good. And, I'm giving kudos to her and Charlotte because they did both put on a good performance. Well, I mean, Charlotte put on a good performance. Brie did decent, but you can tell they tried to put on a good performance. So I give them kudos for that. And the ending was kind of lackluster as well, because, Charlotte, hurting Brie's knee, or Brie ended up hurting her knee from a drop kick, I believe, and she put on a single leg Boston Crab on her, and it looks like Charlotte's in a tap, but it's randomly Brie just let go, and they try to claim that Brie lost her footing and couldn't hold it. That's what made her fall. And then of course Charlotte locked in the figure 8 for Brie to tap out. So it was a decent match, and they tried to put on a good performance. But it didn't end up being as good as it should have been. But it was a decent title match. And then from there we go into AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho, in which was a very good match. I really enjoyed it, even though there was a handful of botches. AJ did his signature where he does the springboard and tries to catch him into inverted DDT. That didn't work. Jericho, there's just some miscommunications and nothing, really panned out. There were some cool spots though where, AJ went for the springboard forearm smash, and Jericho ended up kicking him off the ropes, and AJ just ate shit. AJ tried to do a, he sprung on the outside, and Jericho caught him with the drop kick. So it was a really good, match. I don't know if I'd say it was as good as your second match. It's debatable, but I thought this was an awesome match here. Both guys, except besides a handful of botches, they put on well performance, and the crowd was really invested in this match as well. The crowd was chanting, AJ Styles, Y2J, back and forth, back and forth. So I thought it was one hell of a match, and I know a lot of people are complaining that Jericho kicked out of Styles Clash, but it is what it is. I'm not considering complaining. AJ was put in the walls, he was put in the lion tamer, and he got was given a code breaker, and he was still kicking out of those and just being just fine. So I can understand why people are mad about that. At the same time, you gotta get over it, That's the best I can say. But yeah, great match, and AJ ended up getting the victory with the calf crusher, which was a really suspenseful ending because Jericho was in it for like a minute, and Jericho was just debating on tapping out, and then finally Jericho just taps out, and AJ gets the win. So great match. I really enjoyed it, and a great show of respect at the end too, with Jericho shaking his hand. So looks like they're done feuding, which I'm glad about. But yeah, awesome match nonetheless. From there, we're going to the Cutting Edge Peep Show with Edge and Christian in the New Day. Nothing really was accomplished here. You know, the only great thing I would say was Edge and Christian roasting the New Day. I thought that was hilarious. And then, you know, Edge and Christian brought out the League of Nations, or they talked about the League of Nations, and New Day buried them. Then League of Nations came out, and it was just, it was weird. And then, you know, Edge and Christian left, and New Day left, and Edge and Christian did a thing on the ramp, which was funny about, you know, Edge doing the dollar bills on New Day when they're doing their dance. That was hilarious. But yeah, it was an awkward segment, honestly. It wasn't that great. All they accomplished was Edge and Christian promoting the show, and Edge and Christian roasting the New Day was great. So nothing really that good about that segment at all, to be perfectly honest. And then from there, we go to a Raw match, which was added for no reason at all. R-Truth versus Curtis Axel. Not even wasting time on it. Our Goldust gets involved, throws Adam Rose in the ring, which distracts R-Truth and leads to a roll-up. So Curtis Axel gets the win, and R-Truth and Goldust are kind of just in despair in the ring, like what just happened. So why that had happened in pay-per-view, I have no idea, but it did, and it was terrible. But yeah, I don't know why. Wasted time. And then we go to the main event, which was the Triple Threat #1 Contenders match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 32. Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Awesome match here. I thought it was definitely a match of the night. I thought it was one hell of a triple threat match. You know, all three guys were great in this match. Brock taking Ambrose and, you know, Reigns to Suplex City, hitting multiple suplexes. You know, did a funny spot where Ambrose tried to give him a German suplex, and Brock kind of just looked at him like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, I thought that was a great spot. And, you know, just the beating Lesnar gave Ambrose in this match, I thought was great, with Ambrose keeping fighting back and Ambrose just running at him, and Lesnar just throwing him around like a rag doll and just hitting an F5 on him. I thought that was great storytelling. Reigns and Lesnar didn't go out as much as I liked them to. They had some few interactions. You know, they recreated the WrestleMania 31 ending with Brock had Ambrose on his shoulders from F5, and then Reigns speared him and he threw Ambrose off his shoulders. They recreated that from WrestleMania 31 when Rollins cashed in, so I thought that was cool. You know, Reigns has a few Superman punches on him and gave him a spear. Brock kicked out, thankfully. They did a nice spot on the outside with Ambrose, or was it Ambrose? No, it was Reigns. Reigns like did a suicide dive to the. Oh no, he tried to do a Superman punch off the steps, and Lesnar perfectly caught him in an F5, and Ambrose gave him a low blow, which led to them hitting a double power bomb on Brock Lesnar through the announce table. And then you know, they started going at it again. You know, Ambrose and Reigns went at it a few times, and then, you know, Brock got back involved, and then you know, powerbombing through the other table, Spanish announce table, and then them burying him through the rest of the table. From a quote from Michael Cole, Roman Reigns burying Lesnar. Quote from Michael Cole. And yeah, I know Reigns and Ambrose put on a good performance in the ring until Brock got back involved. Brock from out of nowhere, you know, Reigns is you know, Reigns and Ambrose, a face Ambrose and a heel Roman Reigns is money. I know people want to see Ambrose as the heel, but those two are money, because that's the treatment they got. People were booing Reigns, cheering for Ambrose. Ambrose did dirty deeds on Reigns, almost got the victory. Reigns is going for a Samoan drop, which would Brock Lesnar coming out of nowhere, hitting a suplex on Reigns with Ambrose on his shoulders, hitting a Samoan drop in the process, or Samoan drop, not Samoa drop, in the process. And Lesnar's just going to town, and all of a sudden Ambrose comes out of the chair. Ambrose is beating the holy hell of everyone. Beat Brock to the point where Brock just rolled out of the ring. Ambrose turned around the chair, and then Roman Reigns speared him for the 1-2-3, and Roman Reigns is your #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship WrestleMania 32. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I know a lot of people are disappointed about that and pissed off that, you know, Ambrose should have won this match, and he should have, but let's be honest, like I said, ever since November, you know, Triple H and Roman Reigns has pretty much been the plan, and, you know, Triple H win the Rumble and the title at the Royal Rumble. It was obvious setting up for this match, and, you know, I was one of those people that was wishing Ambrose to win. I did hope that they did a swerve and had Ambrose win. I think that was the right decision. They would have done that. But it is what it is with Roman Reigns, and now it's going to be, you know, last year all over again with the fans booing Roman Reigns and being behind his opponent, which in this case is going to be Triple H. I feel Triple H is going to be heavily cheered at WrestleMania, with Reigns being heavily booed, and, you know, it's you know, a hole they dig themselves into, and, you know, they can't blame anyone but themselves, and that's why I don't feel bad for them for doing this. I do think Triple H and Roman Reigns will have a good match at WrestleMania, and, you know, after the match, of course, when Reigns won, Triple H came out and they had a, you know, stare down with the sign in the background, which I thought was pretty cool. But a great triple threat match, though, you know, then the show. And, you know, hopefully this leads to Lesnar and Ambrose at WrestleMania. You know, hopefully they drop the whole Lesnar-Wyatt thing, because Wyatt's lost their match, and they didn't screw Lesnar out of this match, so hopefully they drop that in favor for Ambrose and Lesnar at WrestleMania. But yeah, all in all, like I said, I thought it was a good, solid show for the wrestling portion. Like I said, I understand people were probably disappointed and left, stopped watching or ended the show with a bad taste in their mouth of the results and how some of the finishes were and whatnot. And I understand that, but like I said, when we look past that, look for the wrestling portion. I thought it was a good, solid show for the most part, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my Fastlane 2016 pay-per review. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your guys comments below if you guys would like with your thoughts on pay-per-view itself and the matches and whatnot, and pretty much whatever you guys want to leave below. And that'll do it for me, guys. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching the video.